I used to believe success could solve almost anything. I had built Carter Industries from a tiny office, a borrowed laptop, and a bank account that was almost empty. By 34, I owned offices in 3 states. I had money, respect, and more work than I could handle. What I did not have was time. 3 months after my wedding to Olivia, I was already spending more nights in hotels than in my own bedroom. One evening, I came home after midnight and found Olivia sitting alone in the living room. "You're home," she said. "I am. I'm sorry it's late. You said you'd be home at 8. "I know. The meeting ran longer. You always have a meeting." I dropped my briefcase beside the sofa. "Olivia, I'm doing this for us." She looked at me quietly. "Are you?" "Of course I am." "Then why does it feel like I'm married to your company?" Her question stopped me. I sat across from her. "We're expanding. Once this new deal closes, I'll have more freedom." "You said that last month." "And I meant it. You said the same thing when we got married." I reached for her hand, but she pulled it back. "I bought you something," I said. She frowned. "What?" I opened my briefcase and pulled out a small jewelry box. "It's a necklace. I saw it in New York and thought you'd like it." She stared at the box without touching it. "Ethan, I don't want another necklace. I thought you liked jewelry." "I like you." I felt my chest tighten. She finally looked at me. "Ethan, I don't need another expensive gift. I need my husband." "I know." "No, you don't." "I do." "Then be here." "I am here now." "You're here because it's midnight." I lowered my eyes. "I'm trying." "You're always trying tomorrow." Her words hurt because I knew there was truth in them. "I'll make it up to you," I said. "How?" "I'll take you away after the deal." "Where?" "Anywhere you want." She gave a tired smile. "I don't want anywhere. I want home." I had no answer. The next morning, I introduced her to Ryan Miller, the man I had recently hired to help around the house. Because of my travel schedule, I needed someone reliable to handle deliveries, maintenance, and daily tasks. Ryan stood near the kitchen door. "Mr. Carter," he said, "it's good to meet you properly. You can call me Ethan." "Thank you, sir." I looked at Olivia. "Ryan will help with the house while I'm traveling." She nodded. "Nice to meet you, Ryan." "Nice to meet you too, Mrs. Carter." I smiled. "Ryan is reliable. You can depend on him while I'm traveling." Olivia looked at me. "You trust him that much?" "I do. He worked for a family downtown for 2 years. Daniel checked his references." Ryan nodded. "I won't let you down." "I know." Olivia folded her arms. "And how often will you be traveling?" "Probably 3 or 4 days at a time." Her expression changed. "Again, I have to close this deal." "You always have to." I walked closer to her. "Olivia, this is the last major trip for a while. You promised that before. This time is different." She looked at Ryan, then back at me. "I hope it is." Before I left the bedroom that morning, Olivia had asked one more question. "Ethan, when you come back, will you really have time for me?" I had smiled. "Of course." "How much time?" "All weekend." She looked unconvinced. "I'll prove it," I said. "No laptop. No calls during dinner. Just you and me." "You mean that?" "I swear." She stepped closer and rested her head against my chest. "I miss you even when you're standing beside me." I held her tighter. "I'll fix that. Don't promise what you can't give." "I can give it." At the time, I believed every word. On the way to the airport, I called Daniel. "I'm leaving now," I told him. "Another trip? Just a few days." "You need to slow down, Ethan." "I know. You just got married." "I know that too." "Then act like a husband." I laughed softly. Olivia already gave me the same speech. Maybe she's right. She is. Then why are you still going? "Because if I close this deal, I can finally step back." Daniel sighed. "You've been saying that for a year." "This time I mean it." I ended the call and looked through the car window at the city moving past me. I thought I was sacrificing a few days for a better future. I never imagined those few days would cost me the marriage I was trying so hard to protect. That afternoon, I packed my suitcase. Olivia stood near the bedroom door while I checked my laptop. "Call me when you land," she said. "I will. And don't forget our dinner Friday." "I won't. You said that last time." "I'll be there." She forced a smile. "You'd better be." I kissed her forehead. I love you. She hesitated before answering. I love you too. At the front door, Ryan carried my suitcase to the car. Drive safely, Ethan. Thanks, Ryan. Keep an eye on the house. I will. I turned toward Olivia. She stood in the doorway, arms crossed tightly. I'll be back soon, I said. Be careful. I promise. I got in my car and looked at her one last time. As I drove down the driveway, I saw her standing completely still. I thought she was crying because she hated watching me leave. I did not understand what was really happening. I would later learn that, before my car disappeared beyond the gate, Olivia turned toward the house. Ryan stood behind the upstairs window. They stared at each other. Neither moved. I had no idea that while I chased a future, someone was stealing mine. I kept driving, believing my marriage was safe. I was wrong. I came home 3 days earlier than planned. My meeting in Chicago had ended after my partner accepted the final terms. And for once, I did not want another hotel room. I wanted to surprise Olivia. When I unlocked the front door, the house was unusually quiet. Olivia? I called. No answer. I stepped inside and placed my bag beside the stairs. Olivia, I'm home. Footsteps came from upstairs. She appeared a moment later. Ethan? I smiled. Surprise. She stopped halfway down the stairs. You're home already? Yeah. The meeting finished early. You didn't tell me. That was the point. She forced a smile and walked toward me. I wasn't expecting you. I can see that. She hugged me, but her arms felt stiff around my shoulders. Are you okay? I asked. Of course. You look nervous. I'm just tired. I looked past her toward the hallway. Where's Ryan? She answered too quickly. He's probably outside. Probably. I don't know. He was working earlier. Something about her answer bothered me. Did something happen? No. You're sure? Yes, Ethan. I nodded, though I was not convinced. A few minutes later, Ryan walked in through the back door. He froze when he saw me. Mr. Carter, you look surprised. I didn't know you were coming back. Neither did Olivia. Ryan glanced at her. I was just finishing some work. What kind? Repairs around the garage. I looked at his hands. They're clean. He swallowed. I already finished. Olivia stepped between us. Ethan, you must be exhausted. I am. Why don't you shower? I'll make dinner. I studied her face. Sure. I wanted to believe everything was normal. I trusted my wife. That trust made me ignore every strange feeling that evening. At dinner, Olivia barely touched her food. I asked, "What's wrong?" "Nothing." "Olivia." She sighed. "I've just been feeling alone." I put down my fork. "I know." "No, Ethan. I don't think you do. I've been working too much. You've been gone too much. I thought I was building our future." "I know." "Then what do you want from me?" "I want you to notice me." "I do notice you." "Then why do I feel invisible?" I reached across the table. "I'm sorry." She looked at my hand. "Are you really?" "Yes." "I don't want flowers." "I won't buy flowers." "I don't want jewelry." "I won't buy jewelry." "I want time." "You'll have it." "When?" "Starting now." She gave me a weak smile. "You're serious?" "I am." I leaned closer. "I'll change." She finally took my hand. "Promise." "I promise." She stood and hugged me. "I just want you to remember that I'm your wife, Ethan." I closed my eyes. "I'll remember." For the next 2 days, I stayed home. We watched movies. We ate breakfast together. I listened when she talked. I thought I had fixed the problem. Then my phone rang. It was Daniel. "The New York client wants you here tomorrow." I looked at Olivia. "How long?" 3 days, maybe 4. I sighed. Olivia heard me. "You have to go?" "I do." Her smile disappeared. "You promised." "I know." "You said you were changing." "I am. But I can't abandon the company." She looked away. "Fine. Olivia, just go." I kissed her cheek. "I'll be back soon." She whispered, "You always say that." I left the next morning. From the airport, I called her. "I landed." "Okay. You sound upset." "I'm fine." "Are you sure?" "Yes." "I love you." A pause. "I love you too." I hung up feeling guilty. What I didn't know was that my absence was creating a different kind of closeness inside my own house. Over the next few days, Olivia began talking to Ryan more often. At first, she only complained. "He's never here," she said. Ryan listened. "You shouldn't have to feel alone. He says he's doing it for me. Maybe he believes that. But believing it doesn't make it hurt less." Ryan nodded. "I understand. You don't. Maybe not. But I can listen." Those words mattered to Olivia. She began looking forward to their conversations. One evening, she asked him, "Why are you always willing to listen?" Ryan answered, "Because I know what it's like to feel invisible." She stared at him. "You understand me." "I try to. That means more than you know." Their conversations became longer. Their boundaries became weaker. Olivia told herself she was only seeking comfort. She told herself Ethan had pushed her into loneliness. She told herself she deserved someone who was present. I knew none of this. I was sitting in a hotel room, working late, believing I was protecting my marriage. At nearly midnight, I looked at the clock and called home. The phone rang once, twice, 3 times. No answer. I waited. Finally, Olivia answered. "Hello." Her voice sounded frightened. "Olivia." "Yes. Are you okay?" "I'm fine." "Why did it take so long?" "I was sleeping." I frowned. "Were you sleeping?" A pause. "Yes. Sorry for waking you." "It's okay. I just wanted to hear your voice." "I'm tired, Ethan." "Okay. Get some sleep. Good night." "Good night." The call ended. I stared at my phone. Something felt wrong, but I pushed the thought away. I trusted her. I always had. What I couldn't see was that Ryan was standing only a few feet away from Olivia when she hung up. He looked at her. She looked back at him. Neither spoke. I was hundreds of miles away, completely unaware that the secret inside my house had already begun. I closed my laptop and tried to sleep. I sent Olivia one final message. "Good night. I love you." She did not reply. I told myself she was tired. I told myself everything was fine. That was the problem. I trusted the person standing closest to me, while the truth was already inside my home. By morning, I would wake up believing my marriage was stronger than ever. I had no idea how wrong I was. I was in my office when Olivia called me. "Ethan, are you sitting down?" "Why? What happened?" "Nothing bad." "Then why do you sound nervous?" She laughed softly. "I'm pregnant." For seconds, I could not speak. "You're serious?" "Yes." "I'm going to be a father?" "Yes." I pushed my chair back and stood. "Olivia, that's incredible. You're happy." "Happy? I can't even explain how happy I am." I laughed, then realized my eyes were wet. "When can I come home?" "You have a meeting tomorrow." "Cancel it." "Ethan, you don't have to." "I want to." That night, I canceled 2 trips and moved meetings. Daniel called me the next morning. "What happened to your schedule?" "I changed it." "Why?" "I'm going to be a father." There was silence. "Daniel, congratulations." "Thank you. You sound different." "I feel different." "Are you sure you're ready?" "No. But I want to be." "What are you going to do?" "Be home." "That might be the smartest thing you've said all year." I smiled. "I'm going to be a father. Maybe this is the second chance Olivia and I needed." Daniel became quiet again. "Ethan, don't rush into anything." "What do you mean?" "You two had problems before this." "I know. A baby won't automatically fix a marriage." "I understand." "Then spend time with Olivia because you love her, not because you're trying to repair something." His words stayed with me. When I returned home, Olivia ran into my arms. "You really came back." "I told you I would." "You canceled your meetings?" "Most of them." "You shouldn't lose money because of me." "I'm not losing anything." I touched her stomach. "I'm gaining a family." She smiled. "It's still too early to feel anything." "I know. I'm scared." "I'm scared too." "You." "Of course. I've never done this before." She rested her head against me. "We'll learn together." "We will." From that day, I became involved in everything. At the first appointment, I held Olivia's hand while we listened to the heartbeat. "That's our baby," I whispered. Olivia looked at me. "You really love this already?" "I already love our child." She smiled, but something in her eyes made me pause. "What?" "Nothing." "You looked worried." I'm just emotional. I kissed her forehead. Then I'll worry for both of us. At home, I turned the spare room into a nursery. Olivia laughed when she saw the boxes. Ethan, you bought too much. There's no such thing. We don't even know what we need. I'll figure it out. You bought cribs. One is a backup. A backup crib? You never know. She laughed for the first time in weeks. I missed this. Missed what? You being here. I missed it too. For a while, our marriage felt different. We ate together. We talked. We planned names. One evening, Olivia asked, "What if it's a girl? I'll protect her from every man on earth." She laughed. "And if it's a boy? I'll teach him everything my father taught me. You'll be a good father." I hope so. Sometimes I caught Olivia staring at me. What are you thinking? Nothing. You keep doing that. Doing what? Looking at me like you want to say something. She looked away. I'm just happy. I believed her. Ryan, however, became strangely quiet. One afternoon, I found him near the garage. Ryan, you okay? Yes, sir. You've been distant. I'm fine. Are you sure? Yes. You're part of this household. If something is wrong, tell me. He looked at me. Can I leave? Leave? My job. Why? I think I should find work somewhere else. I shook my head. You've done nothing wrong. That's not the reason. Then what is? I just think it would be better. For whom? He looked down. I don't know. I put a hand on his shoulder. Stay. He looked surprised. I trust you. Ethan, you've helped us a lot. He nodded slowly. Okay. Good. I had no idea that decision would become one of my greatest regrets. As Olivia's pregnancy grew, my excitement grew with it. Every appointment felt like a celebration. Every photograph went into a special album. One evening, Olivia took a picture of herself beside the nursery window. Send me that, I said. Why? I want it. She smiled and sent it. I printed it and placed it on my desk. That night, I walked downstairs for water and heard movement near the living room. I stopped. The lights were off. I stepped closer. Ryan was standing beside the table. He was staring at Olivia's pregnancy photograph. Ryan. He turned. His face suddenly went pale. I looked at the photograph, then at him. What are you doing? Ryan opened his mouth, but no answer came. I asked you a question. I was just looking at it. Why? I don't know. You don't know? I watched him step back. It's a beautiful picture. I picked up the photograph. You've seen this before. Yes. Then why were you staring at it? I wasn't thinking. I watched him carefully. Ryan, is there something you're not telling me? No. I noticed how quickly he answered. Look at me. I watched him raise his eyes. I'm serious. If something is wrong, tell me now. I swear, Ethan, nothing is wrong. I wanted to believe him. After all, he was the man I had trusted inside my home. I handed him the photograph. Go get some sleep. Yes, sir. I watched him walk away. I remained beside the table, staring at the picture. I smiled at Olivia's face and touched the photograph. Our family, I whispered. I believed those words. I still believed the child growing inside my wife was mine. I still believed Ryan was an uncomfortable employee. I went upstairs and kissed Olivia goodnight. She was asleep. I closed the door, believing our family was safe. I had no idea that the photograph had shown me the first crack in my future. I felt nothing. I had never been more afraid in my life. I stood outside the delivery room, staring at the closed doors while Olivia fought through hours of pain. Daniel stood beside me. Ethan, sit down. I can't. You've been standing for 3 hours. I need to be here. You are here. I rubbed my face. I should be inside. The doctor said they need space. I know. My mother, Sophia, touched my arm. Your wife is strong. I know. You're shaking. I've never been this scared. Daniel gave me a small smile. You're about to become a father. I swallowed. That's what scares me. Why? Because everything changes tonight. Sophia looked at me. Maybe that's exactly what you need. A cry suddenly came from behind the doors. I froze. Was that the baby? Daniel stood. I think so. A nurse opened the door. Mr. Carter? Yes. You have a son. My eyes filled instantly. Is Olivia okay? She's exhausted, but she's safe. And the baby? Healthy. I covered my face for a moment. Can I see him? Of course. I followed her inside. Olivia looked exhausted on the bed. She turned toward me. Ethan. I walked closer. You did it. She smiled weakly. We did it. The nurse placed the baby in my arms. I looked down. He was tiny. Perfect. My hands trembled. Hello, I whispered. Olivia watched me. You're crying. I can't stop. You look ridiculous. I laughed through my tears. I don't care. I looked at my son. I'm your father. I promise I'll never leave you. Olivia's expression changed. What? I said I'll never leave him. She looked away. I kissed the baby's forehead. What's his name? We agreed on Noah. Noah. I smiled. That's perfect. For several minutes, I only stared at him. Then something caught my attention. His eyes. I looked closer. The shape seemed familiar. I shook the thought away. Is something wrong? Olivia asked. No. I looked at his nose. Something about it bothered me. I couldn't explain why. Then I noticed a tiny mark near his cheek. My heart suddenly beat harder. I had seen that mark before. Not on Olivia. On Ryan. I looked toward Olivia. She was watching me carefully. Ethan? Yeah. You're staring. I'm just looking at him. You're scaring me. I forced a smile. He's beautiful. She nodded. He is. I handed Noah back to the nurse. A little later, my mother entered the room. She looked at Noah. Then she looked at me. Then back at Noah. What? I asked. Nothing. Mom. She smiled. He's a beautiful baby. I studied her face. You noticed something? No. You're lying. Sophia shook her head. Ethan, this isn't the time. What isn't the time? She lowered her voice. Don't ruin tonight. I looked at Noah again. Daniel entered a few minutes later. He stood beside me. Congratulations. Thanks. He looked at Noah. His expression became serious. What? Nothing. Daniel. He hesitated. Ethan, are you sure about the timing? My stomach dropped. What does that mean? He looked at Olivia, then at me. Forget I said anything. No. Tell me. I don't want to do this here. Do what? He lowered his voice. Think. His words stayed in my head. I stepped into the hallway. Suddenly, memories began crashing together. Ryan asking to leave. Ryan staring at Olivia's photograph. The strange phone calls. Olivia answering too slowly. Her sudden mood changes. The way Ryan became nervous whenever I mentioned the baby. I remembered every moment I had ignored. I returned to the room. Olivia. She looked at me. What? Can we talk? About what? About Ryan. Her face changed immediately. Why? Because something feels wrong. You're doing this now? I need an answer. An answer to what? I looked at Noah. Why does he look so much like Ryan? Silence filled the room. Olivia stared at me. How can you accuse me after everything I've been through? I didn't accuse you. You just did. I'm asking a question. You think I cheated? I don't know what to think. She began crying. I carried your child for 9 months. I stepped back. I'm sorry. You should be. I shouldn't have said anything. No, Ethan. You shouldn't have. I looked at Noah. I just noticed something and decided to doubt me. I was confused. You were suspicious. I lowered my head. I'm sorry. I left the room. I walked through the hospital hallway without knowing where I was going. I felt ashamed. Maybe I had imagined everything. Maybe exhaustion had poisoned my thoughts. Maybe Noah simply resembled Ryan by coincidence. I sat alone near a window. Then I heard footsteps. I looked up. Ryan stood several feet away. Ryan? He walked closer. Can I talk to you? I stared at him. About what? He looked toward the delivery room. About Noah. My heart stopped. What about him? Ryan swallowed. I didn't want to tell you this here. Tell me now. He looked directly into my eyes. Ethan, there's something you deserve to know about Noah. I stared at Ryan in the hospital hallway. My heart was pounding so hard that I could barely hear anything else. What do you mean? I asked. Ryan looked away. Not here. No. I stepped closer. You started this conversation. Finish it, Ethan. Now. He swallowed. I don't know how. The truth would be a good start. Ryan closed his eyes. For several seconds he said nothing. Ryan, I never wanted this. My stomach tightened. Wanted what? He rubbed his face. Everything got out of control. What got out of control? His silence made me angrier. Look at me. Slowly, he lifted his eyes. What happened between you and Olivia? Please. What happened? She was lonely. I laughed bitterly. That's your answer? It's the truth. No. I pointed toward Olivia's room. The truth is inside that room. Ryan lowered his head. She felt abandoned. Don't. She said you were never home. Don't you dare justify this. I'm not trying to. Then answer my question. Ryan looked completely broken. I asked the question anyway. Did you sleep with my wife? He froze. I waited. He said nothing. I already had my answer. The hallway suddenly felt smaller. The walls seemed closer. The floor felt unstable beneath me. You did. Ryan remained silent. You actually did it. I never planned to. I laughed. Neither do most people. Ethan, I'm sorry. Stop saying my name. I didn't mean for this to happen. You were living in my house. I know. I trusted you. I know. You sat at my table. His eyes filled with tears. I know. And then you slept with my wife. Ryan looked away. That was all the confirmation I needed. I walked away before I lost control. Hours later, after Noah and Olivia were moved into a private room, I returned. Olivia looked at me. Where were you? Talking. To who? Ryan. Her face immediately changed. What did he say? I closed the door. Tell me the truth. I have. No. I stepped closer. You haven't. She looked frightened. Ethan. Tell me. Tell you what? What happened between you and Ryan? Her eyes widened. Nothing. Don't lie. I'm not. He confessed. The color drained from her face. What? He told me. Tears instantly filled her eyes. Olivia. She looked down. Please. Look at me. She started crying. I'm sorry. Those two words shattered everything. I felt my chest tighten. How long? I don't know. You know. A few months. A few months? She nodded. While I was traveling? Yes. While I was building our future? More tears rolled down her face. Yes. I looked away. I couldn't breathe. I loved you. I loved you too. Don't. It's true. No. I pointed toward Noah. Love doesn't do this. Olivia covered her face. I never wanted to hurt you. You already did. It wasn't supposed to happen. Then why did it? She wiped her eyes. Because I felt alone. I laughed bitterly. So loneliness became permission? No. Then what? I was weak. Yes. I made a mistake. A mistake. I stared at her. A mistake is forgetting an anniversary. She began sobbing. This wasn't supposed to continue. But it did. Yes. Why? She couldn't answer. The silence was enough. Then I asked the question I was terrified to ask. Is Noah mine? Olivia immediately looked away. My stomach dropped. Answer me. I don't know. You don't know? No. What does that mean? She started shaking. It means there's a chance. I closed my eyes. A chance. One word. One devastating word. A chance that the child I had held in my arms was not mine. A chance that every dream I had built was based on a lie. I left the room before I broke apart completely. The next morning, I called Rachel Brooks. My lawyer arrived that afternoon. She sat across from me in a private hospital office. Tell me everything, she said. I did. When I finished, she remained silent for several moments. Do you want a divorce? Yes. Do you want revenge? I don't know. Rachel nodded. Good. Good. Angry people make expensive mistakes. I leaned back. I want justice. Then think clearly. What should I do? Protect yourself first, and then find the truth. You mean the baby? Yes. I looked at the floor. I already love him. I know. That makes this worse. I know. Rachel opened her folder. Get a paternity test. I nodded. That was already my plan. That evening, Daniel found me sitting alone. You look terrible. I feel worse. He sat beside me. What are you going to do? I don't know. You do know. No. Yes. I looked at him. You're not a violent man. I want to be right now. I know. I want Ryan to suffer. I know. I want Olivia to understand what she did. Daniel nodded. I know. I stared through the window. What if I expose them publicly? Will it help? Maybe. Will it heal you? I didn't answer. Daniel already knew why. Humiliation won't fix your life. No. It'll only keep you trapped in this. I hated that he was right. The next day, I arranged the test. Then I waited. The waiting was torture. Every time I looked at Noah, my heart broke. Every time I looked at Olivia, I felt betrayed. Every time I saw Ryan, I remembered trust dying. 3 days later, my phone rang. Unknown number. I stared at the screen. My pulse accelerated. Rachel had warned me they would call directly. This was the laboratory. The result was ready. The truth was finally waiting for me. The phone continued ringing. I looked at the number. My thumb hovered over the screen. I wanted answers. I feared them even more. The ringing stopped. Then it started again. The laboratory was calling back. I stared at the screen, but I could not bring myself to answer the phone. I finally answered the phone. Mr. Carter? Yes. This is Dr. Harris from the laboratory. My throat tightened. I'm listening. I'm calling about the paternity test. I closed my eyes. Tell me. There is no biological relationship between you and Noah. I stopped breathing. What? The test confirms that you are not Noah's biological father. I stared at the wall. Are you certain? Yes, Mr. Carter. The results are conclusive. I whispered, thank you. The call ended. I remained completely still. I had spent days fearing those words. Now that I had heard them, I wished I could erase them. I looked at the report on my desk. Not my son. The sentence repeated inside my head. Not my son. Then I remembered holding Noah for the first time. I remembered his tiny hand around my finger. I remembered whispering, I'm your father. My eyes filled with tears. Noah, I whispered. I knew one thing immediately. The baby had done nothing wrong. He hadn't lied. He hadn't betrayed me. He hadn't chosen any of this. My anger belonged somewhere else. It belonged to the two adults who had made choices behind my back. I called Olivia. Can you come to my office? She arrived an hour later. She stood near the door. Ethan? I held up the report. The test came back. She started crying before I said anything. I'm sorry. No. She looked at me. What? Don't say you're sorry yet. She lowered her head. Is he yours? I shook my head. No. She covered her mouth. I knew there was a possibility. You knew. I was afraid. You were afraid? I didn't know what would happen. I stood. You could have left me. She cried harder. You could have told me the truth. Instead, you let me believe another man's child was mine. I know. No, Olivia. You don't know what that did to me. I was lonely. I know. You were never home. I know. I felt invisible. I looked at her. And I failed you. She looked surprised. I continued. I did. I don't want you to blame yourself. I have to accept my part. She wiped her tears. Then maybe you understand why it happened. No. Her expression fell. I understand why you were unhappy. I pointed toward the report. But I will never accept what you chose to do about it. She nodded slowly. You're right. You could have asked me to change. I tried. Then you could have left. I was scared. Scared of what? Losing everything. I stared at her. You lost it anyway. She began crying again. I regret it. I believe you. Then forgive me. I shook my head. Not today. She looked broken. Will you ever? I don't know. A knock came at the door. Ryan entered. Ethan, can I talk to you? I looked at him. What do you want? I heard about the test. Then you know. Yes. He stepped forward. I'm sorry. I laughed without humor. You've said that before. I don't know what else to say. Then say nothing. I made a terrible mistake. You made choices. Yes. You knew I trusted you. Yes. You knew Olivia was my wife. Yes. And you still did it. Ryan lowered his eyes. I know. I pointed toward the door. Leave. Ethan, leave. He walked out. I sat down. Rachel entered a few minutes later. You look exhausted. I am. She placed a folder on my desk. We need to separate your marriage from your business. I don't want Olivia touching the company. Then we handle that legally. And Noah, we need to discuss your relationship with him. I looked at her. I want him protected. Rachel nodded. That's possible. I don't want him caught in our war. Good. Whatever happens between Olivia and me, Noah stays innocent. Rachel smiled faintly. That is the right decision. I looked through the window. Will people think I'm weak? No. Will they think I should destroy them? Some will. I don't care. She closed the folder. What do you want? I answered without hesitation. I want my life back. That evening, I returned home. Olivia was waiting. Ethan, I've made my decision. Her eyes filled with tears. Are you leaving? Yes. Where will you go? Somewhere I can breathe. Please don't do this. I have to. Can we start over? No. Why? Because starting over requires trust. She looked down. I'll earn it. Maybe. Then stay. I shook my head. I can't. Ethan, please. I don't hate you. She looked at me through tears. Then why does this feel like punishment? Because consequences aren't always revenge. I picked up my suitcase. I hope someday you understand that. She followed me toward the door. Will you never speak to me again? I'll speak when we need to discuss Noah. She nodded. And Ryan? I don't know. Do you hate him? I hate what he did. She began crying again. I opened the front door. Then she asked the question that stopped me. Ethan, if you don't hate me anymore, why won't you stay? I looked at Olivia and answered the question that had followed me for days. Because love cannot survive without trust. She wiped her tears. Can't trust be rebuilt? Sometimes. Then why not try? Because I don't know how to trust you anymore. I would spend years proving myself. I know. Then stay. I shook my head. I stayed when I should have listened to you. I stayed because I thought money could protect our marriage. She stared at me. What do you mean? I thought giving you a beautiful house, expensive gifts, and a comfortable life was enough. It wasn't. I understand that now. She lowered her eyes. I needed you. I know. I needed my husband. I know. I told you. You did. And you ignored me. I did. I took a breath. I failed you emotionally, Olivia. I'll always admit that. But being lonely didn't give either of us permission to lie. She nodded through her tears. I know. You could have left. I was afraid. You could have told me the truth. I should have. Instead, you let me believe another man's child was mine. She covered her face. I am sorry. I believe you. But you still won't stay. No. I looked toward the nursery. But Noah isn't responsible for any of this. Her eyes lifted. You still care about him? Yes. After everything? Especially after everything. I called Rachel that morning. I want Noah protected. We can arrange that. I don't want him hearing arguments or accusations. Then keep the adults separated from him. I will. And your legal position? I want everything handled properly. Rachel nodded. I'll prepare the documents. What about Ryan? His employment ends immediately. I nodded. He should face the consequences of his choices. You don't want to sue him? I haven't decided. Rachel closed her folder. Don't make that decision while you're angry. I won't. Ryan came to me before leaving the house. Ethan, I know you hate me. I don't hate you. You should. I hate what you did. I ruined your family. You helped destroy my marriage. I regret it. Then live with that regret. He lowered his head. Is there anything I can do? Stay away from Olivia and Noah. I will. And don't ever tell yourself that my absence made your choices for you. He looked at me. I understand. Good. Ryan left. For several weeks, Olivia and I communicated only about Noah. Eventually, even her relationship with Ryan ended. The fantasy they had created disappeared when reality arrived. She once told me over the phone, everything feels different now. I answered, reality usually does. He said he understood me. Maybe he did, but understanding wasn't enough. No, he wanted something too. I stayed silent. Ethan? What? I finally understand what I lost. You lost my trust. I know. And I lost the future I imagined. I know. Now we both have to live with it. I ended the call without anger. For the first time, I felt free. I returned to my company, but I changed the way I worked. Daniel noticed first. You're leaving the office at 6? Yes. Who are you? I laughed. Someone who finally learned a lesson. What lesson? Money can't sit beside you when you're hurting. He smiled. That's the smartest thing you've said. I started taking weekends off. I ate dinner without my laptop. I answered calls from people I had ignored for years. My company continued growing, but it no longer owned every hour of my life. One evening, Sophia visited me. You seem happier. I'm healing. There's a difference. What difference? Healing means the pain is still there, but it doesn't control you. I smiled. Do you think I lost everything? She shook her head. You lost someone who betrayed you. That isn't the same as losing your future. Her words stayed with me. Months passed. Then I visited the hospital where Noah was being cared for. I stood outside his room for a moment before entering. A nurse smiled. He's been waiting for you. I walked to the crib. Noah opened his eyes. I whispered, Hello, little man. I lifted him carefully. His tiny hand wrapped around my finger. My chest tightened. I remembered the night he was born. I remembered my promise. I'm your father. The words almost came again, but I stopped. I couldn't pretend to be his biological father. Still, I could be someone who cared. You didn't choose any of this, I whispered. None of it is your fault. The nurse watched quietly. I asked, Is he doing well? He's healthy. Good. Will you keep visiting? Yes. I held Noah closer. I'll never punish him for what adults did. As I left the hospital, I realized something important. I had spent weeks imagining revenge. I had wanted Olivia to suffer. I had wanted Ryan to regret every decision. But revenge would have kept me connected to them. I didn't want that anymore. I wanted peace. I wanted a life that belonged to me. Daniel called while I was driving home. How are you? Better. Really? Yes. What changed? I stopped asking why they betrayed me. And what are you asking now? I smiled. What am I going to build next? Daniel laughed. That's my brother. I looked at the road ahead. For years, I had measured my life by money, deals, houses, and success. Now I measured it differently. By peace. By time. By the people I chose to keep close. I could not erase what happened. I could not change Noah's father. I could not undo Olivia's betrayal. But I could choose what happened next. I had lost my marriage. I had lost my trust. I had lost the future I once imagined. But I had not lost myself. Walking away was not weakness. It was my victory. I finally understood that sometimes the strongest revenge was not destruction, but choosing peace and refusing to let betrayal define me ever again.